So we were blessed with four kids in about 5 years, two boys and two girls, and that was really hard at times, as you might imagine. But today, our kids are all in their 20s, doing well professionally, contributing to society, strong moral compass, and following God faithfully. It didn't just happen, though. And this is what I'd like to talk to you about. This is what I've concluded after 25 years of parenting. One of the most important things we can do as parents is to intentionally manage our kids' environment, to ensure that our kids walk with the wise, as the Bible says. And I'm not just talking about having them walk with wise, godly people. I'm also talking about exposure to wise, godly perspectives throughout their day, while carefully avoiding unwise perspectives. This is the number one secret to parenting success, in my opinion. When it comes to raising kids, the environment is everything. You see, like it or not, during your kids' first 18 years, their environment will shape them at least as much as you will. We parents dominate the shaping early on, but then peers, entertainment, social media becomes more influential. And if we leave that unchecked, we relinquish our parenting responsibilities to the culture. It may look like we're raising our kids, but at that point, the culture is. Someone else is. It's not inevitable, though. Even in the 21st century, parents can remain largely in control of their children's environment if they're intentional about it, if they're consistent, if they're courageous enough to stand firm when other parents are folding. Forget what other parents say or do. Forget normal. Instead, your mission is to guard your kid's heart. That's also from longstanding biblical wisdom. Guard your kid's heart, for everything they do flows from it. Think about it this way. What happens when we ignore this advice? When we, for example, give our teens and preteens unlimited access to the online world? That's pretty common these days, right? But that actually gives the world unlimited access to them, to their hearts and to their minds, ultimately shaping their attitudes and choices, possibly their entire worldview. If you're trying to instill good moral values in your kids, giving them autonomy online is likely going to work against you. They'll be steadily taught by someone else how to think and how to live without their knowledge or consent, or yours. And frankly, you probably won't see it until the damage has been done. I'll borrow the principle again from the Old Testament. Walk with the wise and become wise, but a companion of fools suffers harm. That's in the book of Proverbs. And applying that today, it means that unregulated access to the online world will make our kids the companion of fools. And in the end, they'll suffer harm. Make no mistake, that's on the parent, not on the fools. The responsibility is ours. But again, none of that is inevitable. Moms and dads everywhere who parent in the exact same society that you are protecting their kids from this kind of drift. How? By obsessively governing their kids' environment so they consistently walk with the wise. Now, in practical terms, that means keeping your kids around peers and teachers and coaches and family members and others who share your values, even if it requires homeschooling or cyber schooling or stretching the budget for private school. It means knowing your kids' friends, all of them, as well as their friends' parents. Sadly, it might also mean transitioning away from some of those relationships, an issue that gets exponentially harder in their teenage years if you've not drawn the line earlier. It means regulating your kids' intake of entertainment and information, limiting what they can access online, and filtering TV shows and movies, music, video games, and their ever evolving social media platforms. Bottom line, faithful parenting entails immersing kids in a healthy, godly environment while defending them from the predators that reside in every screen and in every school and in every social situation. You might ask, do we ever expose them to these other ideas of the world? Well, of course we do, but we do it on our terms and on our timetable. Last thought. If you think what I'm saying would be overwhelming, an overwhelming job in this day and age, well, then you get it. It may be harder than ever to raise kids right. You've got to be constantly vigilant, constantly proactive. So yes, that requires work, exhausting and exasperating work. Thankless work, maybe even ordering your life around this work during some seasons. But let me tell you, as clearly and as earnestly as I can, it's worth every minute of the battle. All the emotional pushback and the unfair labels, the silent treatments, the sleepless nights, it's absolutely worth it in the end. Now, that's one person's opinion based on 25 years in the trenches, but it's also based on biblical wisdom that served us more than 25 centuries. Guide your kids to walk with the wise people and wise perspectives every day. When it comes to raising your kids, the environment is everything.